Welcome everybody, it's qualifying day at the final round of the World Cup this year. And oh boy howdy, we've got a track to show you today. We're gonna take you up there, we're gonna show you, we're gonna look at this. That's a rock. There's many of them. They're massive. This track is absolutely just ridiculous. It's inside the tape day. We're gonna show you top to bottom why it's hard, why it's stupid, why it is the hardest track in the world, why I was really nervous about trying to get down in my qualifying run. Let's go, let's talk you down. Full track top to bottom. Nice mellow start gate, and they've taped it wide so you sneak off the corner a bit, off to the side in a little bit of grass, set you up wide for that first turn. Inside that turn there's a nice rut developing, but as it dries out it starts to get blown out a little bit. It's a little bit skatey that first turn. Next right hander, beautiful, it's fine, no stress, rail around that. Immediately on the gas, up to speed, off that next drop. You said up to speed, that's the other video. And then speed tuck down that straight, carry the speed, carry the speed. Now you can set up wide for this next turn and then go inside, but the end of it's starting to get a little bit blown out. You know, the moisture's disappearing, we need more rain. So some riders are going around the outside of this corner and maybe you carry more speed, maybe there's a bit of gravel there and it's quite loose. Very hard to get it nice. Over a crest, round the long right hander. Try not to push in too hard and let those tires break loose. You just want to carve it all the way around the outside. Off the next jump, keep it low. Get your braking done, rail that next left. Into the air, rail that next right hander. Over that next crest, land big G out across that bridge. And they've put in some new switchbacks down this next section. It used to be the fastest, most insane run into a rock garden ever, but now we're up onto the bank, around the pole, long flat left, over a rock drop over those nice sharp rocks, then you can go round the outside, scoop yourself back up onto the track, but it does leave you with a tighter turn on the exit, but you can go into it a little bit quicker. You go over a drop, you want to keep the bike down, don't jump too far off of this because you'll land to flat, catch a bit of backside, loads of little sharp rocks that are coming out here that are easy to ping your wheels side to side. Then track splits again, there's an option to go down the right. Haven't seen anyone doing that. Most people are going left. Hold it left next to the tape, over a drop, and then the track splits again. There's about 16 options down here. I'm not going to talk about all of them. The low line, you can go down round the corner, nice and chill, nothing too much to worry about. It's a little bit longer though. And then from here, you can stay low all the way down the guts. Just follow where the rain's been running and then slap the corner at the bottom, really rough. There's another line, over the rock that Bruni anti-gravity over a few years ago. You can ride that, step down off of that. Very tricky to press the wheels into the backside of the rock to actually get a clean step down off of it. Rail that left-hand corner, then it splits again. Immediately more lines. You can go super high up above the stumps or you can stay low, gap over some roots, and then they both funnel in together and into a really gnarly bit of track. Some big, meaty, rocky steps with a step down, optional step down, that a lot of riders were doing last year. Not many are doing this year because the run-in is so chopped out. It's very hard to press the bike into the ground to actually pop the jump. Some riders are managing to get set up to the right and making it happen, but very few are. Most riders are just taking the impact, squashing off of it, taking the next impact, and then just keeping things trucking down the next section. Big old steps, doesn't look like it, but man, you're working through this section. Over the next drop, loads of roots, super rough, corner, more lines. It's insane. There's too much to talk about. You can hold it high, it's super rough. Most people are up on that, or you can drop off the stump and then swing up onto the high line. Not many people are going low down here. From this high line, you have the option to go straight, rail a right-hand berm that's a little bit smoother and sets you up for the next bit, but it is a longer way round. Or you can just head straight through the compressions on the right, take those impacts. If you're a strong rider, you can make it work. Into that next left-hander, starting to get chewed up, but riders are still making it work. And then into an interesting option where you can gap wide for the next turn. There's a rock on the left you can jump off, but the landing, it's a bit gnarly. I watched Pierre on Puncture on it because there's just, the landing is just rocks. Some people are getting it sweet, some people are catching the root, some people are catching rocks in there, but it does set you up nice for that outside turn. Most other people are then just pushing through the compression, getting as wide as they can, and then trying to stay off the brakes down into that next gully. Down into that next bit, just let the bike rattle through, go light, and then you rip a left-hand corner and then drop between the trees. Got a little section where there's not too much to worry about. You can breathe a little bit, just stretch out the hands because the hands are hurting already. You're barely into it. around over the bridge, little uphill, and then you're straight back into it. More line choice. You can go inside, all the way inside, bit chopped out, but not too bad. Or you can spend a little bit of time setting up and get a slightly nicer angle into the next left-hander. Over that next crest, and then it splits again down the inside, a more direct line where you can jump off a stump and double into the next section, or you can go round the corner and it sets you up nice and straight. Down this next straight, there's some big compressions and steps off of rocks that if you're confident and strong, you can just let the bike sing across them, just dancing down that. If you're a little bit more tired and tall and Scottish, you sort of just go just plopping down there, just trying to swing off the back and not collapse into your bike. Hit the corner at the bottom that's a bit greasy. It seems to hold the water in there and some people are slipping out. And it's a very tricky bit because you hit the corner and you immediately have to brake because there's a very, very steep drop into a sharp 90-degree left-hander. And a lot of people are getting squirrely before this. Then you don't want to go off this drop too fast or send it too deep because it's a flat left-hander. Some people brake loads and try and get the bike down early. Some people just send it off of it. Rail that left off the next drop. Long left-hander that is also greasy in there when it's been raining, kind of showering intermittently through the day. Some riders are setting up super high for this corner, others are just heading straight at it. Rail around that right. Few compressions that you can gap. Round the next slight left-hand crest and you get into the famous Schraubing corner that Noah absolutely destroyed a few years ago. Most people are inside, barely anyone's touching the outside. Inside is just an absolute boy. You just slap into that and into the next right-hander that's super dusty. And if on your qualifying run you come into it a bit too quick, you tuck the front and nearly go over the bars. Out of that corner, into the next bit, long rocky berm that you can't really ride, but you can sort of do it a little bit and you go on it and then you cut down off of it, or you can follow it the whole way around. But yeah, riders are just playing about. There's no obvious line here, but you just try and set yourself up the best you can for the next bit. Slight right-hander, then it flattens out again. Another little breather here, a few pedal strokes, keep the speed going. Into the next section, there's a few different lines around this slight left-hander. Some people are just heading straight at it and going round the rock. Some people are coming in and trying to just pick up over the rock, and other people are trying to set up wide next to the tape and get left of the rock, which presents you with a smaller drop off the next rocky wall. Dropping off the left, it is a little bit smaller and it sets you up quite nice for the corner, but other people are just going direct, drop off the right hand side, take that impact and just hope there's not a new rock that's appeared into that next section that you're going to land on. I did in practice, I hit something, Menards, ooh. Right-hander, super chopped out under braking. It's just like, you need to brake there, but braking in those holes is just like the roughest thing ever. It's really, really physical. Then round a left-hander, and then you come into one of the most physically demanding sections of track in terms of just that impacts your body has to take. If you're keen, you can gap over the first big holes, but you have to be feeling good, you have to be feeling strong to be able to commit to that gap over. Most people are just riding through the compressions, just taking them, just eating them up, and drop over those first rocks. Over this next crest, it's so hard to commit to, it's totally blind, but you don't want to dribble over it. It's very easy to dribble over because it's just gnar on the other side of it. The riders that are getting it good are committing to having a little bit of speed, and you can actually step down onto the most vicious, nasty, rough rocks ever. With speed and commitment, it's not too bad, but I've not managed it. Honestly, it is brutal. So down those first rocky bits, there is another line which Remy Thirion popularized, where you can head left, and what it does is it takes out the crest. The crest, because it's blind and because it's so steep, you have to slow down for it. But going around the left, even though it's longer, it's not as much of a crest, so you can actually attack it faster. Those that are really committed and fast over the middle should be quicker, but yeah, rather you than me. Down, hit the next compression, and again, more choices. So you can head down the left, which is the smoothest line, but it's a super spiky rock on the way in. Or you can head slightly middle, a bit rougher, but it does set you up a little bit better for the off camber after it. Or some riders who have done the wider line on the previous rocks, then head down the right hand side, and there's a catch at the bottom, which is really nice for setting you up over those routes onto the off camber. And then you have one of the most viciously stepped and rough, horrible bits of track into a 90-degree right-hander with a hole in it, because of course it's got a hole in it. It wouldn't be Val Di Sole if it didn't have a huge hole in it. So down the middle is the roughest bit of this track. There is an inside line, which is a bit smoother, but the turn at the bottom is, there's no support and it's like 90 degrees. Some people are managing to get a little bit wider to miss the worst of the steps to make that right-hander a little bit better. It's so hard. It's such a hard bit to get nice. But if you get that, it's still pretty bad afterwards. You go off a drop, bang, big impact, left-hander, and one of the really tricky right-hander to get right. Lots of ways of doing it. There's huge holes, big steps, not a lot of support. Some people are going really high in the roots and then turning off of them and almost dropping off of them into the next section. Important thing is you get off the brakes and don't look at the tree. Don't look at the tree because you'll hit it. Don't look at the tree, look down the track, off the brakes, carry speed down into the next section, into the next left-hander, long, rooty corner, a few deep breaths because you've got big compression coming up and a big jump. So over the crest, into the trees, don't let yourself go too deep, smoothly onto the landing and hike yourself off that next step down. If you don't go far enough, it's rough. If you do go far enough, still a bit of an impact. If you absolutely pull for it, there is a landing way down there. But I've not seen many people get in there. And maybe if you came in fresh, you might just get it. But then bang, fastest section of track. You're absolutely shifting down here over the next crest. Track splits again. Left-hand line, rough, tighter turn at the end. Wider line that you have to slow down to get in. And you come round and it's just getting so chopped out in here. You're on the brake, bike's just like doing this underneath you. Come down into the next section. There's a right-hander with a full inside line, very tricky to do, nice and clean. There's a wider line with 2 entrances to it that I think most people are doing and you can carry the speed out of. Then into a left-hander, and there's some lines in here that if you commit to are just unreal. And at this point in the track, if like there was a jelly baby on my handlebars and someone said, can you just bend down and eat it? I'd be like, no, because I can't get back up. You're just cooked. And some people are doing a massive gap into a hole. There's some rocks on the left, 2 rocky steps, and you can just pull over them. And riders that are getting it good, it looks smooth, but it has a big impact, and then you're just into the chopped out, gnarliest right-hander. Unreal commitment for the riders that are getting that. The riders that maybe aren't keen for the gap can roll over this, not quite as fast, or there's a drop on the right, and then you can head diagonally to the wide line. Not quite as fast again, but it's the smoothest of the lines, I would say. Then on the exit, it's just chopped out. You just have to stay off the brakes, let the bike run across them. After that, down, cross the walker's path, and then there is a gap to a nice stump landing. They put a little landing on the backside of it, and if you can get a pump down that, you get a nice speed boost if you get that good. For those not keen in the pool, you can just land on the right. That's also not too bad. Then you get into what feels like the last bit of the track, but there's still like a minute. It's brutal. Splits again. Original line goes all the way around the corners, but because of how it's taped, it's a more direct line. Riders go on the inside, apexing on the poles. It's not like apexing on a racetrack. There's just stumps and rocks, and it's like one of the roughest bits of track. It's so tight and sharp. You want to gap over the holes, but there's just no room, there's no space to let it run. You just have to let the bike saw through them. Then what used to be one of the hardest corners on the track, you have to try and set up high in the rocks, and there's just a huge G out of a right-hander, but they have built it up a little bit. It's not as bad as it used to be. A lot of people ended up in the netting there in the past, but not too bad now. Try and set up wide for the left, round the corner, up over the crest. Super chopped out, bang into that right-hander, left crest and into a flipping gnarly left-hand sender that when you hit it fast, you land at the bottom. There'll be some head nods there come race day. Slight right crest, you can go inside or you can go around the outside. Same for the next left-hander. Some will go inside, some go outside. Then there's a real diversion of lines. Some people are heading really wide out to the tape, super wide, seems like they're heading off track, and they'll carve a right-hander and get a straight direct line down this next section, inside into the next left, and when you get it good, you absolutely shralp round that turn. Big old G out in that corner as you jump into the next section. Bit more slow on the way in though, so most riders are still going round the old original line, super fast in, big compressions, and then trying to go inside over the next bit, but as I found this morning, it's a bit slippy trying to go on the inside and the left, and you can die. Other riders will just be committing to the old original outside. It's nice and consistent. It's always going to be there, but it's a little bit slower. Over the next drop, down, This is it. I've done it. I've done all the technical bits. I've just got to do the biggest sender on the World Cup circuit. Jump out, don't brake, don't brake. You're coming down, it's all rippled out with braking bumps, and then you pre-jump off of it. It's like, it's got a weird crest, and you just, yeah. Silence, wind. It's like floating through the air, and you're just like, oh, here it comes. Slap down onto the land, and just like, Jesus Christ, hold on. You're trying to hold your form together around the left-hander. It's all loose and whoa, easy there. Like, stay on track, long left-hander. There'll be people cutting loose, and then as you catch onto the track, it's all gravelly. The sun's been on it. Oh, there'll be some drifts around here. Then long right-hander. You're just trying to like, oh, it's same again. It's super gravelly. Just keep it going, keep it going. They built a new lip on the next jump. Oh Jesus! There goes the landing. Oh God! Too flat, and then cross the line. You are no more relieved than you are when you finish a lap on this track. I can't put it into words. I honestly think it's the hardest track. Not to get down, but to race. It's just so physical. Unreal track to finish the year on. Oh and yeah, we'll do it. Bit of ghosting. There's a bit, I mean, we'd love to do all of it, but we'll do one bit. There's one bit, one interesting bit. We'll go back up. Let's get this party started. We got Remy Terry on, the first fast guy we saw swinging down that big S-bend. Super smooth. Jesus, the speedy kite out of that corner. Let's see if Benoit Collonge can match him. He takes that direct line. He's in the middle, and then he's just straight down the guts through those harsh steps. Yeah, look pretty quick. Let's see. So here they come, both into the section. You can already see Remy is way out in front. Slowing down for that crest has definitely lost Benoit time. But look, it's a long way around that outside. Can Benoit catch him up? Absolutely not. Oh, he's forgotten his keys. Away he goes. Right, let's try that again. Right, okay, here we go. They're back and they're back at it. Will the software work? Will the software... Come on, Dartfish. You've got it. And here they come. Oh, jeez. Right. Well, I mean, he was behind it. He's back! He's back! Benoit's back! And he's behind. He's behind. And about how far? Oh, it's 0.57. And look at that. Dartfish coming through a treat. And now we've got the Red Power Ranger, the golf pro himself, PGA Tour, Reese Wilson. Fully inside from the swerve. Made that work really nice. That was clean. Definitely a fast way down, and we got Phil Atwell. He comes into that middle line super quick, but look how rough it is. It looks like he actually clips out through that rough section, and he's back in there and then down off the drop, around the turn. Well, let's see how they compare. You can see they actually come in at similar speeds, come over that crest. They're really close. Hits the compressions, and Phil, that's it. He's been knocked off. His foot is out, and he's going to be cautious down this next. But as Reese takes that direct line down the inside, that inside line is much smoother, less holes, but a very tight turn that's hard to carry speed out of as Phil clips back in, and no way, man. Nothing he can do. Reese is gone, and Phil... Oh, 0.95. That's a hefty one. That's a meaty gap. And now we've got the fresh world champion. He goes straight over the crest, straight down the middle, right down the middle of the roots. He's not messing out. He's a middle guy. Little stall in the turn, though. So that will have lost him a little bit of time. We're going to put him against Thibaut Deprella. He is on that longer line, swerving wide, swerving low, and then back into the middle and out the corner. Not bad. Pretty clean. Let's see how it compares to Bruni. And coming into the section, you can see Deprella is a little bit in front. You can just come into that line a lot quicker. But it is a longer distance, and they're going to get back to the middle. Bruni's got a straight line into it. Is he going to catch him up into the corner? It's a full bike length in front as Bruni does a bit of trials into the turn. It's not helping him, though, as he stalls in the corner. It's definitely, trials is not what you need to be doing. And then at the line, 0.97 to Deprella. Now we've got Bernard Kerr down into that. He is on that line, but then he doesn't swing wide. He goes super inside, misses the holes, and commits to that turn like a champ. And you can see Mark Wallace being stoked in the background as Laurie Greenland comes straight over. Oh, big head nod in that compression. It is severe, but that was clean out of the corner. These were the fastest two we got through this section. Who is going to take it? Bernard's looking like he's out in front, but Laurie
is absolutely motoring into that middle line. Little head nod. And they're both neck and neck as Bernard goes to that inside. It is more direct, but it is a much tighter corner at the bottom as they both hit the corner at the same time. Bernard gets off the brakes a little bit cleaner. He exits out the corner. He gets to the finish line. And it's 0.26 to BK. And it's official. He takes the Ghosty of the Round award to Bernard. The Ghosty award. We got a Ghosty award. It's like a little ghost that says like winner underneath.
Yeah, I'll do that.
In Pinkbike. Yeah, maybe it's wearing like a Sleeper Co. like top.
And that's it. I mean, even talking about the track, I'm absolutely cooked. It's yeah, heck of a track. I cannot wait to watch the racing tomorrow. I sadly won't be racing. I tried my best, but I am not prepared for that. Like I had a clean run, but I just had to go so slow so I didn't die. So I'm gonna get to watch the race just like you guys at home, because I'll be watching the live feed, because you actually see more in the live feed. And yeah, stay tuned for Story of the Race tomorrow. Final story of the race. I hope you've enjoyed Inside the Tape this year. I hope you've enjoyed the ghosting. Show some appreciation to all the guys behind the scene making it happen. And yeah, I'll see you tomorrow for the last one.